Part 127. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1278. Regardless of failure or success, a new generation of great masters will always appear. Maybe one, maybe two. But every time one appears, it will have a huge impact on the current situation in the wild world. These are the inspirations of the great world of Mang Huang. Every time a great master appears, he will take a share from you and me. Hearing this, Milo's expression became heavy. No one wants their cake to be divided, especially those who are used to being aloof and giving orders. How do you want to do it? Milo asked in a deep voice. His sharp eyes stared straight at Tuoshan, and he believed that what the other party was telling him was not as simple as just chatting. You and I join hands to clear the wilderness, Tuoshan said in a concentrated voice. After secretly saying sure enough. You and I are only in the early stage of Dazun. Even if we join forces, we may not be Datong's opponent. So we need help. Who? Huanglong. With the support of the Dragon clan outside the territory, it never gets involved in these disputes. That old dragon is extremely cunning. Even if he wants to, I don't dare to trust him completely. Milo frowned, he couldn't think of anyone else who could be involved in a fight of their level. Suddenly, his brows furrowed and a cold look appeared on his face. Do you want to unite with those guys from the demon world? Haha, how could it be possible? If the demons of the Maleo realm are allowed to take over Mang Huang, you and I will end up being forced to flee Hongmeng even if we don't die. It seems you're not crazy yet, Milo said coldly. Okay, don't be pretentious, just tell me, who is it? Fellow Taoist, please take a look. With a slight wave of his left hand, a hazy spiritual light flew into the air. The light quickly solidified. Soon, a tall figure gradually became clear. At the moment when the other party was about to solidify, a powerful white spiritual light flew out like lightning and shot directly at the face of Lord Milo. The changes in the elbows and armpits were completely beyond Milo's expectations. But after all, he is in the body of a great master, and he is in his own dojo. Although the speed was extremely fast, a cyan light quickly blocked him, and the shadow of a spiritual flag could be seen in the rich spiritual light. When the white spiritual light collided with the spiritual flag, thousands of rays of glow burst out. To God, you actually colluded with outsiders to plot against me. Milo was furious. Just as he was about to completely eliminate the threat, the spiritual flag suddenly dimmed and lost its effect. How is it possible, my? Before he finished speaking, white spiritual light struck Lord Milo on the face like lightning. The latter's physical body was intact, but his soul was directly immobilized. Today, give him something to drink. A majestic voice sounded in the hall. Yes, Master Kang Yang. Tuoshan patted the magic bag, and a yellow-skinned gourd jumped out. After opening it, there was an indescribable spicy smell, and a black pill with countless spiritual patterns flashing on the surface slowly flew out. Seeing the elixir, God Tuoshan showed a complex look on his face. There is hatred, fear, and even helplessness. Looking at the dull-looking Master Milo not far away, he said, Old friend, I don't want to do this either, but I really can't help myself and I offended you. With a flick of his finger, the black pill flew into Milo's mouth. After Tuoshan turned it away with his magic power, the black elixir instantly turned into infinite black runes, which were deeply embedded in Milo's body and spirit. Seeing this, the white light disappeared, and Milo once again took control of his soul and body. However, he also instantly noticed the changes in his body. Unspeakable resentment, like a wildfire rising from the sky, burned his internal organs. Subconsciously, he wanted to die with the other party, but found that he could not mobilize the magic power in his body at all. My great Sumuruyi divine light has 3 wonderful functions: fixing the soul, fixing the body, and fixing the law. Now your spirit and body are intact, but your magic power is still restrained by my divine light. Along with the voice, a tall figure wearing a black robe and an ancient appearance became solid. Is it you, Emperor Kanyang? After seeing his figure clearly, Milo couldn't help but exclaimed. He never imagined that this person who was rumored to have died nearly 200,000 yuan would actually appear in front of him alive again. For a moment, all the anger was frozen by the familiar yet unfamiliar figure in the distance. Emperor Kanyang smiled lightly. I didn't expect that you, who was just a junior among the 7 Hongmeng masters of Maluo sect, would eventually become a great master. It's really a twist of fate. He stretched out his hand and a spiritual flag flew into Emperor Kanyang's hand like lightning. He played with it for a while and then put it away. This Kong Qingling flag has been well taken care of by you. After recovering from the shock of Emperor Kanyang's appearance, Lord Milo became angry again. However, after spending time in the past, I no longer had the thought of dragging them to death together even if I risked my life. The Emperor has good tricks. In nearly 20 yuan hui, I have never discovered the backhand you left inside. If not for the sudden strike of Kong Qingling banner just now, he would not have been plotted by Emperor Kanyang. This technique is called the Great Heaven and Cloud Forbidden True Technique. It is a wonderful technique that I got from the Netherworld Sea. Naturally, you are not able to spy on it. Emperor Kanyang's words were full of pride. Back then, in order to seek an opportunity to break through to the Supreme, he once went deep into the Nether Sea alone and wandered through more than a dozen yuan hui. The harvest was quite rich, including the most powerful of the 3 great treasures of the Manghuang realm, the Tianxin Divine Realm, as well as the incomplete Hongmeng Qingshen Tianzun Enlightenment Jade Seal, which directly leads to the realm of Hongmeng Tianzun, and Great Zhu. Tianyuan Forbidden Formation and so on were obtained from adventures in the Netherworld Sea. Although he has gained a lot, Emperor Kanyang never wants to go deeper into the sea of chaos in this life. The dark and deep sea water will not only limit the consciousness, but also bring countless dangers. Unless you are a deity, you are in danger of falling. It is indeed the supreme secret technique, Master Milo said in a complicated tone. In his own dojo, he was captured by a single move, and now he is reduced to a prey, which is pitiful. After feeling sad for himself for a moment, Lord Milo took a deep breath. What does the Emperor want me to do? Kanyang glanced at him appreciatively. It's good to be able to pick it up and put it down. No wonder you can break through the Great Master. Don't worry, I will give you the 3 corpse brain divine pill as soon as I take back the power of the wilderness world. The antidote will allow you to regain your freedom, and I will teach you the secret of advancing to the supreme level. The Kongqing Spirit Flag and the Shaoyang Divine Sword will also be given to you again. Lord Milo didn't believe a word of his words. But the situation is stronger than the person, and he didn't have the courage to die together at the beginning. Now he just wants to live well and fight for the possibility. Seeing the change in Milo's expression, Kanyang showed a faint smile on his face. It took hundreds of thousands of yuan of hard work to achieve the current state of mind. No matter Tuoshan or Milo, as long as they are not in a desperate situation, they will never risk their lives to oppose him. From today on, you are my subordinates. But you have to do something. Just wait for my news. Turned. Today. Please give me the Emperor's orders. The god Tuoshanzun has the body of a bull and a muscular body. He looks like a reckless man, but in fact he is very knowledgeable about current affairs. This time you have completed my mission. According to the previous agreement, the treasure will be given to you. Tuoshan was overjoyed and said, "Thank you very much, Emperor." Tuoshan will do his best to assist the Emperor in regaining the wilderness and creating great achievements again. Haha, okay. I will definitely live up to you when the time comes. Along with the laughter, Kanyang's figure gradually became illusory and then disappeared. A powerful talisman gradually turned into powder and disappeared after losing its spiritual support. The hall that was a bit noisy before suddenly became quiet. Tuoshin and Milo looked at each other. The latter waved his hand violently, and a powerful wind blade slashed towards Tuoshin like lightning. Tuoshin seemed to have expected that he would be like this, and also mobilized his magic power to fight with Milo. However, at this moment, he was only transformed into a trace of soul, and his strength was limited, and he was quickly suppressed by Milo. After being beaten severely, Milo let him go. He breathed a sigh of relief. After this beating, do you feel better? Seeing that Milo ignored him, he turned over and sat up, clasping his hands behind his head, lying lazily on a fiery red cloud. Don't look so sad. When I was plotted against, I was even more angry than you. But my strength is not as good as others, so I can do nothing. Among the three world-suppressing artifacts of the Manghuang realm, the Hollow Divine Realm is in the hands of true Lord Datong, the Shaoyang Divine Sword is in the hands of Lord Tuoshin, and the Kong Qingling Flag is in the hands of Lord Milo. Coincidentally, these three world-suppressing artifacts once belonged to Emperor Kanyang, and they only obtained them after Kanyang's death. Therefore, everyone must have a share in the great all heavens and clouds forbidden true Dharma. It seems that the guy from Datong is also unlucky. After beating Tuoshin, Master Maluo, who felt much better, said in a solemn voice. That's right. After a pause, Tuoshin continued, but that guy in Datong has great strength and great opportunities, and he is also a cunning bastard. I'm afraid it won't be easy to take him down as we did. Lord Milo nodded in agreement. Think for a moment. In these past few Yuanhui sessions, true Lord Datong has been practicing in seclusion. I have asked to see him many times but I have never seen him. Me too. The two cultivators looked at each other and noticed something strange about each other. Did that guy from Datong already notice something? In the past, when the true monarch of Datong thanked guests behind closed doors, they didn't think anything of it. Now that they are behind bars and without freedom, they have no choice but to stop thinking about it. Ever since that auction, Datong has been in seclusion and kicked us out early. This is something that has never happened before, Tuoshin said. In the past, if they came to visit in person, the other party would have to entertain them for a while. The two of them looked deep in thought, but unfortunately no one could guess what Datong was thinking. Never mind this, what if we figure out the purpose of that guy from Datong now? Lord Milo sighed. He never thought that he would be here today. A few days ago, I was still thinking about how to ensure my power in the wild world, but now I have become a pawn in the hands of others. It's really fate that makes people happy. When the two lamented the impermanence of fate, thunder bursts from the pagoda of Datong. The billions of feet of deep purple thunder and lightning dragon roared, and used its claws crazily to destroy the 9 dragons interlocking in mid-air, which was a billions of feet of huge bright yellow seal. But no matter how violent the thunder was, it was hard to do anything. Rumble. The earth-shattering thunder shook the void for hundreds of millions of miles. True Lord Datong is extremely lucky that the Datong Divine Tower in his hands already has the magical function of space, and can open up a supergiant space that is comparable to the low-grade Hongmeng True Realm. With its accommodation, this tribulation was not known to the outside world. Otherwise, such a powerful thunder disaster would have shocked the entire wild world, and his plan would have no chance of success. Everything is ready now, it's just up to you. The murmuring true monarch of Datong looked at the Kowloon seal that was blooming with infinite golden light in mid-air, and the vast and thick earthy rime filled the entire space. The fire in his eyes was enough to melt gold and turn iron. Thunder tribulations descended one after another, gradually exceeding 60. The calamity of the superior Hongmeng Lingbao is 63 Hongmeng thunder calamities, and it becomes more powerful towards the end. Especially the last 3 paths are devastating to heaven and earth. The majestic purple thunder, like the beating of war drums, and the majestic electric light, turned the sky and the earth into purple clouds. Su Junming sat cross-legged on the mountain peak in the center of the lake, raising his head and quietly watching the final thunderstorm. Although he deliberately slowed down the practice of the Nine Dragons' Great Seal, the long enough time also gave him the opportunity to strive for excellence, and the foundation was laid extremely solidly. According to past experience, there is no problem in surviving the catastrophe. Of course, the final outcome depends on the facts. Boom! The roaring thunder, like a sky-lifting war spear, instantly penetrated the world and enveloped the Nine Dragons' seal. The huge thunder rasp was destroying everything around it crazily. But the way of the earth is already thick, and its defensive power is unparalleled, and it quickly blocked the thunder. The last one. True Lord Datong looked at the increasingly huge thunder eyes and was frightened. Even though he was far away, he could clearly sense the vast thunder within it, which was shockingly powerful but still rising. He really wanted to ask Su Junming if he was sure about this last step. But as soon as the words reached his lips, they were interrupted by a brilliant purple glow. The gorgeous purple clouds are extremely beautiful. The bright white runes falling from the sky were like a giant butterfly, slowly flying down from the thunder eyes. True monarch Datong had no intention of appreciating this beautiful scene. He couldn't help but open his eyes wide, clenched his fists, and stared at the flying thunder pattern. Ouch! Amidst the earth-shattering dragon roar, 9 huge bright yellow dragons flew out from the big seal. Roaring and tumbling, they formed a complex formation, protecting the entire seal in the middle. The moment the formation was formed, it collided with the heavenly tribulation thunder pattern. There was no earth-shattering thunder, no bursting flash and no storm. But from the bright yellow dragon that was constantly being eroded, true monarch Datong clearly sensed the danger in the middle. After an unknown amount of time, all 9 giant dragons disappeared. The aura of the giant seal that looked like an ancient mountain had also dimmed a lot. It was obvious that this time of transcending the tribulation consumed a huge amount of energy. True Lord Datong breathed a sigh of relief and looked at the place where the thunder pattern disappeared that day, his face full of excitement. When the aura of creation fell from the sky and the aura of the 9 dragons' great seal quickly advanced towards the top grade Hongmeng Lingbao, this excitement quickly filled every corner of the body. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1280. By the time the 9 dragons' giant seal had absorbed all the spiritual energy of creation, the powerful and heavy earth Dao Yun was already like a mighty boundless wave, weighing heavily on the heart of true monarch Datong. Even though his cultivation has now reached the middle stage of the great master, he is still unable to extricate himself under the suppression of this tyrannical Tao Yun. However, compared to the oppression he suffered, true Lord Datong enjoyed the tyranny of the 9 dragon seal more. This is the high-grade Hongmeng Lingbao he dreams of, which he uses to sweep through the wilderness and gain the foundation for initiative. Shua. A ray of light passed across the sky. True Lord Datong came to Su Junming at almost the fastest speed, and looked at the big seal slowly falling from the sky, his face full of excitement and excitement. I couldn't help but use my magic power to take over the big seal. Enveloped in bright yellow aura, a vivid 9-clawed golden dragon was coiled around, and the profound earthly charm was permeated, satisfying all his previous imaginations of this top-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasure. Subconsciously turned over the big seal. In the bright glow, 6 simple yet complex spiritual patterns appeared before his eyes. 9 dragons overturning the sky divine seal. Divine consciousness is immersed, and 8 powerful Hongmeng restrictions appear in the bottom of the heart. 8 restrictions. True monarch Datong was filled with surprises. The foundation of the soil obtained by the true Lord is strong and the source is powerful. Otherwise, Su's ability can only be limited to 7 limits at most, which is the limit Su Junming said with a smile. My Taoist friend's ability in refining weapons is really astonishing. This treasure is very close to my heart. True monarch Datong spoke happily and looked at the green-robed Taoist opposite, his admiration beyond words. He really didn't expect it? I originally thought that Su Junming was just a supreme being, and he was lucky enough to be able to refine the 7 restraints. I didn't expect that my weapon refining ability was so high, that I could actually refine the 8th level of restraint. At first, I was thinking of waiting for the opponent to refine the treasure, so I killed him with one palm to avoid being used by Maluo, Tuoshan, and Huanglong. Now he couldn't bear it anymore. With such an amazing weapon refiner, he will be able to earn a huge amount of training resources after he advances to the supreme level in the future. Only with sufficient resources can we continue to break upward. Perhaps we can visit the realm of Heavenly Lord in the future. The true monarch of Datong was filled with excitement, imagining the future when he would reach the top of the mountain and hundreds of millions of monks would bow their heads in worship. Seeing him like this, Su Junming smiled in the future and quietly did not disturb him. After a long time, Datong Zhenjun took a deep breath and calmed down a little. He stared at the green-robed man opposite him with fiery eyes. Fellow Taoist has refined such an important treasure for me. I am so kind and kind. I don't know how to express my gratitude to you. Zhenjun is serious. It is a fair transaction between Zhenjun and I. There is no need to say thank you. Hey, although it is a transaction, you still have to thank me. The subject changed, but I can't think of a specific reward for fellow Taoist for a while. Why don't you, fellow Taoist, stay here for a while? After I think about it carefully and take out the treasure, it won't be too late for fellow Taoist to leave. It's decided. Fellow Taoist, please don't refuse. Oh, by the way. Fellow Taoist has been practicing treasure for nearly 10 UN sessions, so he must be tired. I don't want to disturb you anymore, so I will leave first. Wait for fellow Taoist come and have a rest, I will come visit you again. Without giving Su Junming a chance to speak, he left with the 9 dragons sky-shattering seal in a flash. Looking at the empty void, Su Jun clearly understood that he was trapped in the Datong Tower by true Lord Datong. What's your plan? The old and steady voice sounded from the bottom of my heart. At the same time, the projection of Taoist Tiangong, who was obese, had white beard and hair, and had a vast aura, appeared in the sea of consciousness. Because of the time advantage brought by the mid-grade Hongmeng Lingbao level Xiao Chongshan Cave Heaven, Taoist Tiangong is the second monk after Su Junming to advance to the level of Great Master. The 9 dragons heaven-shaking Great Seal was finally able to refine the 8 restraints, and he also contributed a lot. It is precisely through the experience of this big seal that Tiangong Taoist practice can progress rapidly, and then make the second breakthrough after Su Junming. Smile calmly. Since we can't get out, we can just stay here. Tiangong Taoist nodded. With this 9 dragons Great Seal, the true Lord of Datong will most likely take action. If you stay here, it can be regarded as a close surveillance. If the critical moment comes, you can complete the battle. Having said that, it's not that easy to take him down. After all, the Tianxin Divine Realm is a world-suppressing spiritual treasure in the vast wilderness, and its power is infinite. She glanced at him and said, "Don't tell me that you didn't leave any backup in the 9 dragons seal." Su Junming smiled. If he had no backup plan, how could he have mastered the 8 restraints of this treasure sacrifice? He never does anything to capitalize on the enemy. What we have to do now is wait quietly, and then practice a few more high-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasures before the decisive battle. Tiangong Taoist nodded in agreement. Tianlong Shenzhou. Unlike the other 3 major Chinese states, more than half of the area here is covered by sea water. The remaining land is just some islands in the sea. However, such a place with rich Kuishui spiritual energy is also the best habitat for dragons. The famous Crystal Palace in the wilderness is located in the deepest part of the ocean, in a huge underwater mountain valley. The mountains are the bells of the spiritual veins. The larger the mountain range, the more abundant the spiritual veins will be. This is true even for giant mountains under the sea. As the core place of Tianlong, China, the Crystal Palace is not only the core of Tianlong clan, but also the core of all water tribes. Countless water tribes come here every day to trade spiritual materials and items. Unfortunately, not all races are accustomed to living in water. In terms of prosperity, Crystal Palace is not as good as Datongfang, and is even a bit weaker than Kongshanfang. But in terms of magnificence, this place is indeed the first in the wilderness. Dragons are used to enjoying themselves. Brother Huanglong, this Crystal Palace is much more gorgeous than my shabby place. A tall monk with a dragon head and a black dragon robe, with a strong breath, looked out the window for a while, then suddenly turned around and said, "It's just some external things." In comparison, Taoist brother Hai Shui has devoted himself to hard work and his cultivation is much better than mine. It really makes Huanglong ashamed. After looking at him, Lord Blackwater turned around, returned to the futon and sat down. Grand Master Huanglong followed and sat across from him. He picked up the teacup on the table and took a few sips. After a while, Taoist brother Huanglong suddenly summoned me. Now I have been sent by the Supreme Dragon Court to come here in person. If you have anything to say, can you tell me directly? The Supreme Dragon Court is the only great realm among the tens of thousands of great realms in the southern wilderness that is completely composed of dragons. It is also a tyrannical world that is infinitely close to the Hongmeng upper realm. In this world, there are a total of 9 great dragon masters, and the strongest ones are already at the peak of the great masters. It is precisely because of their strength that countless dragon clans in the southern wilderness are willing to recognize them as their ancestral court, and with them as the core, nearly 100 dragon clan masters form the most powerful ethnic group in the southern wilderness now. Huanglong put down his teacup and organized his speech. To be fair, Brother Dao, the reason why I bothered Brother Dao to come in person this time is because I have something to ask for. Oh, what's the matter? I also asked the Supreme Dragon Court to help me gain control of the wild world. Looking at Huanglong, who was serious about his matter, Lord Blackwater smiled lightly. Brother Taoist, are you serious? Although the great dragon masters in the entire southern wilderness are all co-lords of the Supreme Dragon Court, this does not mean that the Supreme Dragon Court can command all directions. After all, those who can become great masters have their own dignity, and no one is willing to succumb to others. Joining the Supreme Dragon Court is just to reserve an escape route for yourself. Of course, there is also the intention of a fox pretending to be a tiger. After all, it is Shao who is truly willing to give up everything and join the Supreme Dragon Court. Certainly. Huanglong nodded affirmatively. Why? Brother Dao, you should know that in this vast world of mine, in addition to me, there are 3 great lords, True Lord Datong, Great Lord Milo, and Lord Tuoshan. My cultivation level is as different as that of Milo and Tuoshan, but True Lord Datong, your cultivation is far better than mine. And the time of these 3 cultivations was earlier than mine, and they were respectively in charge of the 3 major world-suppressing artifacts of the wilderness, the Tianxin Divine Realm, the Shaoyang Divine Sword and the Kong Qingling Banner. If I hadn't had some opportunities in my early years, absolutely unable to compete with them. But even so, for the sake of my own safety, I deliberately made friends with True Lord Datong to avoid being jointly targeted. But recently during the 10 UN meetings, I found that Datong, Milo, and Tuoshan are getting closer and closer. I am afraid that I will be the first thing they know about. That's why I asked Longting to come forward and help me kill these 3 beasts. I am willing to offer the vast world to them. After a pause, I wonder if Brother Tao is satisfied with this explanation. Lord Blackwater smiled and nodded. No dragon would be stupid enough to harm his fellow clan, otherwise he would be ostracized by the entire Supreme Dragon Court. In the future, even if I go to 3 mountains and 4 seas, I will still be rejected by the dragon clan there. Brother Huanglong, you should know that our Supreme Dragon Court has made 3 stipulations with all the great realms in the southern wilderness. Unless there is a major event that endangers the survival of the Dragon Clan, we, the Supreme Dragon Court, are not allowed to enter other realms without permission, let alone subvert the original rules of the Great Realm. Order. Although the Dragon Clan is known as the most powerful clan in the southern wilderness, the number of great lords is only 100 or so, which is nothing among the tens of thousands of great lords in the southern wilderness. If you wantonly interfere with other worlds, or even devour them by force, everyone will definitely attack in groups. Therefore, even dragons must abide by the rules. Of course, if their strength has grown to the point where they ignore the rules, that's another matter. Of course I know the rules of the Dragon Court. But if I wait until the end of the matter before asking for help, I'm afraid I won't be able to wait until the Dragon Court rescues me. Glanced at him. Brother Huanglong is very cautious. Huanglong didn't care whether it was sarcastic or sincere. He was able to lead the Dragon Clan in the wilderness to rise in the first place because of this caution. Huanglong only has one life. In this helpless and wild world, he has to be careful. Lord Blackwater smiled, Brother Taoist, you should know that the world where our Supreme Dragon Court is located has grown to its peak. If you want to continue to break through, you will face the test of heavenly tribulation. Therefore, the merger of the wilderness world will not give you any benefits. What benefit do we bring? Having said that, once the Supreme Dragon Court breaks through and my Mang Huang Great Realm merges into it, it will also reduce the absorption and refining power of countless Yuanhui. It seems that Brother Huanglong has full confidence in the future of our Supreme Dragon Court. With the luck blessings of billions of dragons, as long as you accumulate enough, it will not be difficult to overcome the disaster. The Supreme Dragon Court entrusts the faith of countless creatures in the entire southern wilderness Dragon Clan. With the blessing of luck, as long as the Dragon Clan in power is not messing around, there is at least half a chance of surviving the catastrophe and reaching the upper realm. Lord Blackwater picked up the teacup and drank it all in one gulp, then stared directly at Huanglong with his sharp eyes. Brother Dao, has he really decided? He nodded affirmatively. I have thought about this matter carefully. Only by joining Longting can I maintain my current power and status. As long as you understand. However, due to the rules of our Dragon Court, I cannot intervene until something does not threaten your life. Easy to say. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist Priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1281. Chongshan dwells in the inner cave. Su Junming himself was sitting cross-legged. A few feet away in front of him, a space cord shed a layer of azure light. In this bubble-like spiritual light, a bloody dragon corpse with 12 claws on its belly lay across it. This dragon corpse looked extremely miserable. There was only a thin layer of flesh and blood attached to the crystal-clear jade bones, as if they were bare bones. But its aura is indeed unprecedentedly powerful. Su Junming formed a seal with his hands, and the Great Master's initial powerful mana was quickly consumed. His whole body, including the dragon corpse, was enveloped in a tyrannical rhythm of time. Visible to the naked eye, countless blood-colored granules absorb the Hongmeng spiritual energy flying from all directions, becoming more abundant, fuller, and more powerful. I don't know how much time passed, but Su Junming's aura became weaker. He quickly stopped the seal, took a deep breath, and slowly opened his eyes. Staring at the dragon corpse just a few feet away, which seemed to be only a few feet long but actually reached hundreds of millions of feet, he sighed lightly. As early as when he planned to use the method of returning to the origin of time to restore the dragon corpse to its original state, he expected that the process would be much more difficult. But after he actually started, he discovered that the process was more difficult than he imagined. Even if he uses the time path to fill up the time flow rate, nearly 10,000 yuan will be spent, and it will only make the dragon corpse that originally only had the skull and spine grow all the bones and part of the flesh and blood. It is still far from being truly complete. With a wave of his hand, the space gourd swallowed up the dragon corpse, and two spiritual lights emerged at the same time. A bright yellow three-legged cauldron, a fruit as big as a millstone, flew out. The big tripod is simple and exquisite. The belly of the tripod is embossed with a scrolling leaf pattern. The two tripod ears are round carved animal heads. It looks like a tiger, but with a single horn and three eyes between its eyebrows. It looks quite majestic. The circular tripod is covered with a mountain top. Although it is just a sculpture, the majestic mountains, waterfalls, and springs make it look real. More importantly, the mountains, which are only a few hundred acres in size, look vast and majestic. The rich Taoist charm of the earth is not inferior to the 9 dragons heaven-shaking seal he practiced for the true monarch of Datong. It was one of the 3 final pieces that was originally obtained from the Datong Fang auction, the Wushen Si2 Ding. The sword wound that almost cut the cauldron in half has been mostly repaired by him using the Way of Time, and it is no longer visible from the outside. But it is still far from being able to completely repair the cauldron. His spiritual consciousness was immersed, and 9 tyrannical restrictions appeared in his heart. However, only 7 of the restrictions were intact, the 8th was only half completed, and the 9th was not even 1/3 complete. I really didn't expect this cauldron to have such a rich heritage. In the future, if it is completely repaired and then integrated with the 9 dragons sky-turning divine seal and refined, there will be a hope of birthing the 10th prohibition and becoming the best Hongmeng Lingbao in the future. It's a pity that it is repaired. It's too difficult to get up. There are 9 restrictions, the higher you go, the harder it becomes. When he repaired the 7 restrictions, with the help of the time path, he only used a few hundred yuanhui, but even half of the 8th path cost thousands of yuanhui, and the 9th path was even longer. But this is normal. If the high-grade Hongmeng Lingbao was so easy to obtain, it would not make true monarch Datong so crazy. After playing with it for a while, he put away the Wushen Si2 Ding. Finally, he looked at the azure fruit that was as big as a millstone, had beautiful thunder patterns on its surface, and had countless spikes. When I first got it, it was still shriveled and ugly. Now, after being repaired by Su Junming with the help of time, it has basically been restored to its original appearance. His heart moved, and the next moment he came to the Immortality Island where more than a dozen kinds of Hongmeng spiritual roots were cultivated. From the outside, it looks like an island that is no more than 100 acres in size, but its internal space is comparable to that of a huge Hongmeng realm. The spiritual roots of Bianmi Shenliu, Qingli, Kongqing Shenzi, Hanyu Lingmulberry and other spiritual roots are lush and green, and their spiritual energy reaches the sky. The thick greenwood spiritual energy accumulates into rain, falls from the mid-air, and forms lakes of different sizes on the ground. The brilliant glow, colorful, fills hundreds of millions of miles. Rich spiritual energy, thick and fresh. The exuberant vitality is even more intoxicating, making it almost difficult to extricate oneself. If Su Junming has nothing to do, he likes to come here to relax. After a brief browse, I found an open place and took out the previous fruit. With a slight toss, the spiritual fruit as big as a millstone floated like a huge balloon in the glittering spiritual light. Su Junming took a step forward and floated into the air, standing 2 feet above the ground. He slapped the gourd on his waist and a white jade bottle flew out. Although it is only the size of a palm, it is as heavy as a stone. Su Junming formed a seal with his hands, and the complicated restrictions were dissolved layer by layer, and an aura belonging to the low-grade Hongmeng Lingbao filled the air. The 2 middle fingers of the right hand are a little weak. A drop the size of a dragon's eye, shining with 12 colors of light, and containing an unimaginable charm of creation, slowly flew out of the jade bottle and flew straight towards the navy blue fruit covered with thunder clouds. As soon as the two sides touch, the droplets quickly merge. In less than half an hour, a powerful and overwhelming vitality filled the air. The rhythm of life is the most touching. Su Junming quietly felt the rhythm of the spiritual fruit. The Tao of creation, the greenwood Tao, the Tao of the earth, etc., all Tao and Dharma related to life have improved. Driven by the increasingly powerful vitality, crackling sounds were heard, and they became stronger and stronger. Gradually, a small crack appeared. A rich navy blue aura soared into the sky from it. The vitality instantly increased thousands of times. An unimaginable thunderous rhyme manifested. Boom! Accompanied by earth-shaking thunder, rolling thunder, like giant pythons, flying around the seeds. It felt like hundreds of millions of people were congratulating the birth of their king. The cracks were getting bigger and bigger, and the navy blue aura was getting thicker and thicker. Gradually, it seemed to turn into a solid blue light pillar that was as high as 10,000 feet. At the same time, the earth-shattering thunder became more and more similar, and the huge thunder snake and electric python became more and more astonishing. Thousands of miles, hundreds of millions of miles, hundreds of millions of miles. In less than a quarter of an hour, most of the Changsheng Island space was enveloped by thunder. The astonishing celestial phenomena indicate the extraordinary nature of this life. Su Junming retreated 100 feet away, looking at the increasingly powerful vitality with excitement in his eyes. Suddenly, a small green bud as thick as a chopstick poked out from the cracked gap, like a toddler, careful and curious about the outside world. Little by little it crawled out of the shell, growing longer and taller. When it grows to 1 foot, it slowly pulls out its green branches and needle-like leaves. At the same time, a trace of brown roots poked out from below and penetrated deeply into the earth. The plant grew bigger and bigger, the vitality became more vigorous, and the thunder became more alarming. When it grew to 100 feet, the fruit shell instantly burst out with dazzling light, and a thunder exploded above Changsheng Island. The sound was so loud that it seemed as if the earth had been opened. In this magnificent scene, the fruit shell turned into a divine pattern with infinite thunder origin and merged into the big tree. Thunder also slowly disappeared without a trace. Wait until everything calms down. A pine tree hundreds of feet tall and blooming with endless thunder has already appeared here. A top-grade Hongmeng spiritual root, Hongmeng Universal Thunder God Pine. Looking at it, Su Junming's face was filled with excitement and deep satisfaction. He likes all kinds of spiritual roots, and there is nothing more exciting than having a high-grade Hongmeng spiritual root in his collection. If there is one, it must be the best Hongmeng spiritual root. It's a pity that until now, he has never heard of it, let alone seen any top-quality Hongmeng spiritual roots. However, if it is cultivated well, there will be a chance to try the creation Qinglian in the hands of Taoist Tiangong. Thanks to Tiangong's green lotus creation spiritual water, otherwise I don't know how long it will take for this thunder god ancient pine to sprout and maintain its grade. The top-grade Hongmeng creation spiritual water is almost as precious as half a 7 restricted Hongmeng creation spiritual treasure. That is Su Junming, otherwise no one would be willing to part with him. Just when he was immersed in the joy of obtaining the spiritual root, 9 rays of light with different auras and colors flew over like lightning. After landing on the ground, 9 graceful figures of national beauty and divine resemblance appeared. It is Nuwa, Fenki, etc., who are now the 9 people who have received the nickname of 9 Goddess of Chongshan from outsiders. Because they both follow Su Junming, and because they are the same person, their relationship is particularly close. What a powerful Tao Yun! Junming, is this the top-grade Hongmeng spiritual root? Nuwa looked at the tall pine trees in front of her in surprise. Except for Taoist Tiangong's Hongmeng Qinglian, he had never felt such a powerful Taoist charm on any spiritual root. Even Su Junming's innate gourd vine was far behind. Do you still remember what I told you about Hongmeng transforms the thunder god Ancient Pine? Nuwa suddenly realized. Is this the seed you got from true Lord Datong? Yes. I used a drop of Lao Chi's high-grade Hongmeng creation spiritual water to revive him. Nuwa majored in the Dao of creation, and often went to Taoist Tiangong to understand the Dao of creation with the help of his Chaos Green Lotus, so she knew very well how precious a drop of high-grade Hongmeng creation spiritual water was. Know more about its power. In this way, true Lord Datong has lost a lot. This is a top-grade Hongmeng spiritual root. Feng Qi came over and said with a smile. That's not what you said. If it weren't for my husband's ability, this kind of seed would be just a beautiful plaything in the hands of true monarch Datong Nuxai said. Su Junming turned around and said, if you don't practice, how did you find me here? The whole cave in Chongshan residence has been thundered by you, but we still have time to cultivate, Lingwei said with a smile. After slightly nodding, I didn't expect that the strange appearance of a high-grade thunder Dao Hongmeng spiritual root when it was born would be so amazing. There was a pause. Okay, now that you have finished reading, go back to practice. I will accompany you. Using the path of time to repair the treasures consumed all his magic power. Even if he used the path of cause and effect to restore it, it also consumed a huge amount of energy and energy. It just so happens that I can recover one or two through dual cultivation. Junu's eyes lit up, her dual cultivation was much faster than their own cultivation. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1282. In the deep and boundless chaos, the magnificent vast world is like a dark blue oval cake, rotating quickly and slowly according to a fixed rhythm. The unimaginably huge gravitational force attracts billions of worlds, all surrounding it, like the Milky Way, so majestic that it is unimaginable. In the billions of worlds, there are endless races, big and small, and countless mysteries. Even those high and mighty ones cannot know everything. The Xianming world is such a nameless world located on the edge of the wild world. From the outside, this world with light blue light looks like a crescent moon and looks extremely beautiful. Most of the interior is vast sea water, and a life called the lizard tribe was born on the only piece of land. They have strong bodies, green skin, and broad heads, like giant lizards. The more powerful an individual is, the bigger he will be. Therefore, the buildings of the lizard clan are extremely tall, especially the lizard clan temple at the core of the world, which is tens of thousands of feet high and stands on the highest mountain in the world, majestic and magnificent. Every lizard monk who passed by saw it and couldn't help but show respect. Deep in the hall, shielded from all prying eyes, an old lizard man wearing a black robe with white beard and hair sat cross-legged with his eyes closed. Invisible majesty filled every corner of the hall. Suddenly, his eyes opened suddenly. Two flashes of lightning flashed, illuminating the empty room white and breathtaking. After a moment, he waved his sleeves. A huge water mirror appeared 3 feet away in front of him. In the smooth and clear water mirror, a demon god wearing purple armor, with 3 snake-like heads and a powerful aura appeared. Snake Luo, why are you looking for me? Hey, Rondo demon, you and I are from the same world and have been friends for many years. Why are you so hostile to me? Humph. Being friends with you? I'm afraid I'll be eaten by you someday. Hee hee, the law of the jungle is the fundamental principle of our world of demon spirits. You, Rondo demon, are no worse than me in this regard. After a pause, but, I'm not here to argue with you. The witch heart demon predicts that the wilderness will be great. The world is going to change dramatically, so you and I should be prepared and ready to take action at any time. Rondomo's expression changed. Is this true? Hee hee, although Wu Xi and Mo's Vipassa theory is broken, it is the foundation of the high-grade Hongmeng Lingbao. Coupled with her innate magical power, she rarely makes mistakes in her destiny, and this time will be no exception. Hearing this, Rondo demon couldn't help but nodded secretly. The 5 major gods and demons in the world of demon spirits know each other thoroughly, and he has also learned about the abilities of the inner demon in the path of destiny. When will we do it? It still depends on how the situation in the wild world develops. If they can't make trouble, we will stand still. If Emperor Kanyang's disciples had not rebelled back then, by the time he had fully recovered, the demon spirit realm without Xiao Maha's protection would have long been annexed by the Mang Huang realm. The harsh lesson left all the demons still frightened. Although the strength of the demon spirit realm is higher than that of the wilderness realm, it is also limited. There will never be any waste of time without absolute certainty. It seems that Wu Xi and Mo Hu Luojia are not too stupid. Hey, no one wants to give up the foundation laid down by nearly 1 million yuan and wander around Hongmeng. Of course, you are the exception. Lundomo smiled faintly. Unlike Snake Luo and others, who have countless demon sons and grandsons in the world of demon spirits, who rely on the luck of the clan to practice, he is a casual cultivator, relying entirely on his own qualifications and understanding. If he hadn't been born from the world of demon spirits, connected by fate, and still coveted the heavenly realm of demon spirits, he would have left the land of right and wrong long ago and gone to practice in 3 mountains and 4 seas. Of course, hard work comes from hard work, and if he is asked to fight to the death for the demonic world, forget it. By the way, you have been lurking here. Have you noticed any changes in the wilderness? 10 yuan ago, there was a big auction of the treasure gathering section. In order to compete for the last few pieces, there was some unpleasantness between Huang Long and Milo, but no conflict broke out. It's really a pity. Why didn't we start a fight? But it's unusual to think of something that can make that old dragon like it, right? After nodding, do you still remember the Tai's Hang Yuan Demon Enlightenment book? Of course, this is not Xiao Mohi's skill. He suddenly reacted, they auctioned Xiao Mohi's skill. When Xiao Mahe was beheaded by Kanyang, his body, spiritual treasures, and all his collection fell into Kanyang's hands. After Kanyang was overthrown by his disciple Datong Zhenjun, these things also fell into the hands of the latter. It's just one of the 3 items in the finale. In addition, there is a broken high-grade Hongmeng Lingbao called the Wushen Si2 Ding. Wushen Si Earth Cauldron? Earth attribute spiritual treasure. No, it has the properties of the earth. However, this treasure is seriously damaged, and most of the internal restrictions have collapsed. It's okay, it's okay. If there is one more high-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasure in the wilderness world, we will be in big trouble. After a pause, is there any more? There is also a relic of a high-ranking dragon. Unfortunately, the evil spirit is too strong. Unless it is refined using secret methods, it will not be of much use. Tisk, tisk, although it doesn't sound good, after all, they are top-grade Hongmeng level spiritual objects. True Lord Datong is really willing to give them up, Snake Luo said. This person is very cunning. There must be a reason for throwing out these spiritual materials that have limited effect but are still very attractive to the Great Master. Do you suspect that he is fishing, intending to lure you or other lurkers from the big world? It is also possible that they are splitting Maluo, Toshan, and Huanglong. Rondomo narrowed his eyes slightly, and his silver-white gaze became deeper and deeper. No one who can practice magic and become a great master is a simple person. Snake Luo thought of a lot in an instant. He wants to defeat each one. There is such a possibility. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that Datong, Milo, Tuoshan, and Huanglong have joined forces to stage a bitter trick with the intention of luring us into taking the bait, Rondomo said meaningfully. Thinking of Wu Xi and Mo's deduction, Shi Luo's heart sank. How likely is that? I don't know. But no matter what their secret plans are, it's best to make a decision before taking action. In addition, you tell the witch heart demon, the demon Eulogia and the succubus that if they really plan to take over the demon spirit realm, they must take a look. The timing is right, and once you take action, you won't leave any room. Otherwise, you would have given up on this idea long ago. It seems that you are not very optimistic about our world of demon spirits. No, I'm just trying to increase our chances of winning as much as possible. A lion attacks a rabbit with all its strength, looking forward and backward, and destroying itself. As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his sleeves and the water mirror disappeared. Peace returned to the hall again. The crystal palace of Tianlong Shenzhou in the wild world. Two uninvited guests broke the peace here. Two fellow Taoists came together. What's the point of doing this? Grand Master Huanglong was smiling on the surface, but in reality he was wary. I have important matters to discuss with Taoist fellow Taoist Tuoshan and Taoist brother, please step aside. Grand Master Huanglong's eyes flashed and he waved his hand. The dragon maidens and clam attendants around them retreated respectfully. Milo glanced at the middle-aged man standing silently behind Huanglong. Noticing his eyes, Huanglong said calmly, "This is my confidant, and there is absolutely no possibility of leaking the secret. It's okay for the two fellow Taoists to talk." Seeing that this person's aura was declining, he was just a supreme being and could not affect the overall situation, so he didn't care. "Fellow Taoist, do you know why I deliberately competed with fellow Taoist at the Baoju sect auction last time?" Tuoshan asked. "Why? Without it, it's just to leave an impression on true monarch Datong that we are different." Huanglong's expression remained unchanged. "I'm very curious, what is the purpose of Taoist Tuoshan taking such pains to do this?" Fellow Taoist Huanglong has profound wisdom, so he should be able to guess. "Brother Taoist, you think too highly of me, please make it clear." Milo smiled and said, "Let me tell you." Huanglong made a please gesture. "There are only 4 great masters in the great world of Manghuang. The cultivation levels of the 3 of you, Tuoshan and I, are almost as different as the great masters. They are all in the early stage of the great master. Only true Lord Datong has reached the middle stage of the great sect, and he is also in charge of the strongest one in the world of Manghuang. The world-suppressing artifact Heavenly Heart Divine Realm. Although he has always considered himself a loose cultivator. But from the fact that he occupied Datong Divine State and recruited registered disciples, it can be seen that he aspires to the way of heaven in the wilderness, and intends to follow the example of Kenyang and take charge of the wilderness. But with his cultivation level, he has little chance of winning against the 3 of us joining forces. And he can easily be taken advantage of by the world of demon spirits. Therefore, what he wants to see most is that you and I don't get along, leaving him every opportunity to break through. The last auction was a test." Tuoshan took over the conversation. "Just to reassure him, I deliberately made things difficult for Brother Dao. If I have offended him in any way, please forgive me." Tuoshan bowed in ceremony, his face full of sincerity. Huanglong looked at him deeply and said, "Fellow Taoist, it's serious. The matter has passed, and I don't care about it anymore. Fellow Taoist, there are so many of them, I bow to heaven. It's really gratifying that these 2 fellow Taoists can put aside their past grudges. It should come to light," Milo said with a smile. "If you 2 Taoist friends want to drink, I can ask the boys to bring it to you. You can drink as much as you want today. You will never get home if you don't get drunk," Huanglong said. "Let's forget it. There are many creatures in the Dragon Palace, and there may be Datong's spies. It's better for you and me to keep a low profile. Have a drink and wait until the big event is decided. It's not too late to come back." "Big event? I wonder what big event, fellow Taoist," Milo said. Huanglong asked. "Of course it is you and I who are 3 cultivators who unite to fight against the true Lord of Datong. Could it be said that in this battle for dominance in the wild world, fellow Taoists are prepared to stay out of it?" Milo said meaningfully. Huanglong's expression did not change. "How can the eggs be intact when the nest is overturned? If it is true as fellow Taoists said," Huanglong can hardly stay out of the matter. But now the wilderness is safe and sound, and true Lord Datong has never been aggressive, so why bother looking for trouble? Everything is done in advance, otherwise it will be ruined. We can't wait for the guy from Datong to come to the door before we think of a solution. By then, the cucumbers and vegetables will be cold. Tuoshan interjected. What Tuoshan said is true. Our strength is not as good as that of Datong. If we don't unite early, take action in advance, and catch him off guard, we will definitely lose in the battle of the wilderness, Milo said. Do it in advance. Exactly. The affirmative answer made Huanglong's heart spin with thoughts, and he began to think quickly. I wonder how you two plan to take action? We need to know that the strength of true Lord Datong is far superior to ours. Milo smiled and said, I have a treasure here. As long as you and I join forces and cooperate with the power of this treasure, we will be able to capture and kill the true Lord Datong. Isn't it just He Bao who is so amazing? Fellow Taoist, look. Milo narrowed his eyes slightly, smiled, and patted the magic pouch on his waist with his right hand. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1283. Lord Milo smiled and patted the magic pouch on his waist with his big hand. Soon, a roll of cloth shrouded in rich spiritual light slowly emerged. Fellow Taoist Huanglong, please take a look. The roll of cloth slowly flew towards the great master Huanglong. For a moment, Huanglong, Milo, Tuoshan, and the black-robed waiter standing behind the great master Huanglong all focused their attention on it. The atmosphere became even more tense as the distance increased. Huanglong stretched out his hand and the cloth scroll stopped, and then slowly opened with his magic power. Gradually, countless mysterious lines appeared in front of my eyes. When the cloth roll was completely unfolded, a complete formation appeared in front of him. A powerful aura filled the entire hall. Although Grand Master Huanglong is not very proficient in the Tao of Duel, he does know a bit about it. It can be seen from these spiritual patterns that this is a mid-level Hongmeng array, and with the 3 talents inside and the Bagua on the outside, 3 to 8 people can perfectly exert the power of this array. What do fellow Taoists think of my formation diagram? Milo's opening made most of the tense atmosphere in the hall dissipate. It is indeed rare for a fellow Taoist to have such a treasure. Huanglong also suspected that the other party was setting up an ambush, but now it seemed that he was overly worried. Haha, fellow Taoist, this is a great reward. With this formation map as a basis, the 3 of us can defeat the true monarch of Datong and even kill this beast. Huanglong smiled calmly. If it is as my fellow Taoists said, the 3 of us join forces to kill true monarch Datong, then in the end, who will be in charge of this wild world? Of course it's you and me who are 3 cultivators. That being the case, I can't see the difference between 3 and 4. Moreover, fellow Taoists keep saying that true Lord Datong wants to sweep across the wilderness, but I see that the 2 fellow Taoists are indeed very ambitious and want to start a war in the wilderness. Milo stared at Huanglong with a meaningful smile on his face. So, fellow Taoist, you are not ready to cooperate with us. No, fellow Taoist has misunderstood. Cooperation is of course possible, but not now, but on the basis that the true monarch of Datong really wants to dominate the wilderness. Fellow Taoist, what you said is wrong. We are weak. If we don't gather our strength to take action in advance, we will only be defeated by them one by one in the end. It will be too late to regret by then. Forgive me for not agreeing. Milo had a look of pity on his face. It's such a shame. While speaking, he glanced at Tuoshan beside him, who remained speechless. The latter understood, and secretly made a seal with his right hand in his sleeve. The next moment, the formation diagram that had been floating not far in front of Huanglong suddenly erupted with a dazzling spiritual light. A red light that was tens of millions of times faster than lightning shot straight towards Huanglong's front door. Boom! Accompanied by a thunderous sound, bursting energy swept across the entire hall. The figure of Great Master Huanglong retreated. At the same time, a water blue ring emerged from Baihui Point, spreading a lot of spiritual light and protecting the whole body. Damn it, Milo, Tuotian, you actually dare to plot against me. Grand Master Huanglong's face was filled with shock and anger. Milo looked at the red light blocked by a black iron ruler with a look of pity on his face. Unexpectedly, the hit he was aiming for was actually blocked. His eyes turned to the figure holding a black iron ruler, with a strong aura and billowing dragon energy. You should know that the Supreme Dragon Court is not allowed to interfere in the internal disputes of all walks of life. Lord Blackwater shook his iron ruler and wiped out the extremely sharp and domineering energy, and then his calm and deep eyes swept over Tuotian and Milo. It is true that the Supreme Dragon Court will not interfere in the disputes of all walks of life, but it will also ensure that the people of our dragon clan will not be killed innocently. Today you will retreat, and I promise on behalf of the Dragon Court that you can forget the past. Blackwater. After waving his hand to interrupt the angry Huanglong, Master Blackwater continued, but if you are stubborn, don't blame me, Longting, for interfering in the battle in the wilderness. Milo and Tuotian's expressions changed. The strength of the Supreme Dragon Court is the best in all the wild worlds. If it really intervenes, the situation in the wild world will definitely change. It's a pity that they were driven by Kang Yang this time and have no power to decide the war and peace. Just when they were in a dilemma, their expressions changed slightly. After a while, we can let Huanglong go, but he must lead the dragon clan out of the wilderness within 1 year. Otherwise, even if we try to offend your Supreme Dragon Court, we will not give up. In addition, you also need to promise not to spread the news, inform True Lord Datong. Can. Huanglong looked angry and opened his mouth, but felt the aura of black water that was 100 times more powerful than himself, so he endured it. Then we'll take our leave. After cupping their fists and saluting, Milo and Tuotian quickly turned around and left. After they left the main hall, Huanglong couldn't bear it anymore. Hai Shui, why did you agree to them? Those two bastards almost killed me. Huanglong was so angry that he almost sprayed the Black Water Lord in the face. The latter took 2 steps back in disgust and stood firm. Are you a fool? Didn't you see that there is a master messenger with stronger cultivation behind those 2 guys? Huanglong was stunned for a moment. Is there anyone behind them? Of course. Recall their words and deeds yourself. When Huanglong was angry before, he only thought about revenge and didn't think much about it. Looking back now, especially Milo and Totten, when negotiating terms with Hai Shui, they advanced and retreated at the same time, without any discount, which was very abnormal. It should be noted that even if 2 monks with the same cultivation level cooperate, they will do so through consultation. There will not be a scene of 1 master and 1 follower, let alone such unity. The only explanation is that there is a stronger being behind them. Is it the true Lord of Datong? But he rejected it instantly. If he were really the true Lord of Datong, he would not kill him if he wanted to test his attitude. If he wanted to take action, he would just come to the door with open fire. With his overwhelming strength, he would not have much room to resist, and he would not use dirty tricks at all. Who is it? For a moment, the heart of true monarch Datong became heavy. The unknown enemy is often the most terrifying. Suddenly, the spirit machine in the main hall trembled violently. Huanglong and Hai Shui looked at each other, and at the same time they turned into light and left the hall like lightning. But then, a thick aqua blue shield covered the entire underwater dragon palace. The tyrannical formation fluctuations caused the expressions of the 2 dragons to suddenly change. Grand Master Huanglong shouted loudly, and the natal spiritual treasure Tianyi Shen water circle was like a giant lightning, with the power of destroying mountains and breaking the moon, and struck the blue shield with astonishing force. Boom! It was like thunder in the sky, and the huge sound shook the entire crystal palace. The mighty water light dispersed rapidly, and under the control of the collapsing energy, it spread out around like a huge sea bowl. Seeing the blue shield that was violently shaking but not damaged at all the creatures in the crystal palace were shocked and incomprehensible. Even Lord Huanglong was greatly shocked. "Who are you, sir? Why are you embarrassing me, Huanglong?" The magnificent dragon roar shook all directions. Soon, two familiar figures appeared in Bantian. "Fellow Taoist Huanglong, you are well. Malo, Tuotian. Is it you?" "It's my two brothers," Milo said with a smile. "What do you mean by this? What do you mean? Haha, how can Brother Huanglong ask such an idiotic question? You should know it very well. Just because I didn't agree with you to deal with True Lord Datong together. Of course. There is no room for sloppiness in the fight for the wilderness. We are either friends or enemies. You actually want to stay out of it? Ha, it is simply wishful thinking." The great Lord Huanglong looked gloomy. "I am even a subordinate of the Supreme Dragon Court, and the great Lord Blackwater next to me is one of the 9 great dragon lords of the Supreme Dragon Court. Do you know what it means to be in trouble with us? Hee, don't think about the Supreme Dragon Court suppressing us. When we take control of the wild heavenly way, and have the power of a top Hongmeng world to back us, how can we be afraid of the Supreme Dragon Court?" God Tuo Tianzun sneered. "With the strength of both of you, it is absolutely impossible for you to hide from me quietly and set up such a large formation. Hurry up and let the people behind you come out. Otherwise, even if you take action, you are no match for me." Lord Blackwater, who had been silent until now, suddenly said. Milo and Tuotian's expressions changed slightly. They had no psychological pressure on Huanglong, who had a similar cultivation level. But it is different for Blackwater Dragon Lord, who comes from the Supreme Dragon Court and has reached the peak of the mid-stage Great Lord. Regardless of cultivation or realm, they were crushed in all directions. Even with the addition of spiritual treasures, they may not be opponents of each other. If it weren't for this dragon, they would have already captured Huanglong when they were in the Tianlong Hall, and there was no need to wait until now. There was a moment of silence. Milo spoke again. "I'm afraid you are overthinking. I, Milo, am one of the 4 great lords in the wilderness, especially someone who is content to be inferior to others. Haha, forget it if you don't tell me. I'll capture you next, and I can naturally ask you clearly." With a wave of his sleeves, a black iron ruler quickly expanded and turned into Optimus Prime in the blink of an eye, rushing straight towards the blue shield with a huge Taoist sound as thick as a mountain. Lord Milo did not dare to neglect. He opened his hand, and a flag surrounded by countless waves and gathering the charm of 10,000 waters emerged. It is the empty blue spirit banner, one of the 3 true world spiritual treasures in the wilderness world. It is also the foundation of the Great Suppression Formation. You deal with Huanglong, and I'll deal with this Black Water Dragon Lord. God Tuo Tianzun nodded, and raised his sword fingers with both hands. Along with the sound of the sword that shook the world, a magnificent pure sun sword light shot out from the body. The tyrannical pure yang sword energy slashed towards Huanglong like lightning. Regardless of the Kongqing spirit flag or the Shaoyang divine sword entrusted by the God of Heaven, they are all world-suppressing artifacts in the vast world. With the help of the power of heaven and earth, they can play a role similar to the top-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasure in the vast world. Powerful and tyrannical. This is also the reason why there are few external forces fighting with local monks in the world. The location factor is really disgusting. Don't hold back, otherwise I won't be able to save you in time when we get to the critical point, Lord Blackwater said. Huanglong nodded and put away his natal spiritual treasure Tianyi Shen water circle. As soon as he slapped the magic bag on his waist, strong evil spirits spurted out, and a mighty dragon roar rose into the sky. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1284. Chapter 1259. The war begins and will continue until the death. Ouch! The boiling dragon roar was earth-shattering. A huge dragon shrouded in purple divine light, with 12 claws on its belly and endless thunder and lightning, rushed out from the spiritual treasure on Huanglong's waist, roaring like an erupting volcano, rising into the sky. The huge movement instantly attracted the attention of everyone around. Boom! The sound of the Lingbao colliding was like a thunderous volley, and like the creation of the world, countless dragon palace gods who were not sufficiently cultivated were instantly killed. The gorgeous building, like a clay sculpture on the beach, was mostly shattered in an instant. The huge dragon roar shook the 9 heavens. The extremely thick formation, suppressed by the Qingling flag, was instantly shattered by the powerful thunder dragon. Ouch! The billions of miles huge thunder dragon set off billions of miles of waves, the huge dragon shadow, the majestic thunder, shining throughout the Tianlong state, and the huge movement completely shocked the entire wilderness. Swish, 2 spiritual lights rushed out of the sea like lightning. It was Milo and Tuoshan. The 2 cultivators looked at the huge dragon shadow above their heads, their faces full of shock. They never expected that great master Huanglong would have such a valuable treasure in his hands. Is this the treasure at the bottom of the box you said? Looking at the giant dragon transformed by the rolling thunder, Lord Blackwater's face was also full of shock. Good. Grand Master Huanglong's face was full of pride. In fact, it was also the first time that he fully activated this treasure. The explosion of such power really surprised and delighted him. With both hands making a hand seal, the majestic purple thunder dragon suddenly became concave and quickly transformed into a purple thunder bead about 10 feet in diameter, entwined with thick evil aura, and flew to the head of the yellow dragon master. Lord Blackwater is also a dragon, and he can be recognized at a glance. Is this treasure made from the inner elixir of the Dragon Lord, the highest ranking member of my dragon clan? After nodding, that's right. It's a pity that when I got this inner elixir, nearly half of the essence was lost, and the evil spirit was entangled. I spent hundreds of thousands of yuan to clear the evil spirit, and used my own dragon essence to nourish it, supplemented by endless. It was only through inspiration that I came up with this treasure. The dragon clan is accustomed to making their own inner elixirs into spiritual treasures of life, and this is the case with the thunder dragon inner elixir obtained by Huanglong. Although Wu Yuan Hui has not been warmed up and its grade has dropped, it still maintains the bottom line of top-grade Hongmeng Lingbao. It's a pity to say that the supreme dragon bone that appeared at the Baoju sex auction came from the same source as his own inner elixir. He originally wanted to buy it to replenish his own inner elixir, but he didn't expect that Milo and Tuoshan interfered and failed. Old and new grudges made him hate the 2 thieves even more. Fellow Taoist Blackwater, please do my best to kill these 2 bastards who underestimate my supreme dragon court. Hai Shui nodded with a cold face. When the 2 cultivators knew that he was a visitor to the supreme dragon court and had chosen to kill him, they had nothing to say. Today it is either you or me who will die. If you start now, you will definitely alarm everyone. You may be taken advantage of, so you need to be careful. Huanglong understood what he meant. The great master of the Mang Huang realm and the man from Datong were there. The loud movement just now must have alarmed him. This bastard dared to kill his mentor, Emperor Ken Yang, and he would definitely kill him at the critical moment. If you really take action, you must not let down your guard. I understand, the worst case scenario is that I will give up my inheritance in Mang Huang and go to the Supreme Dragon Court with you. Master Huanglong gritted his teeth. He was very angry if he didn't kill these 2 bastards today. Lord Blackwater glanced at him and said nothing more. A great master in charge of the high-grade Hongmeng Lingbao, the supreme dragon court also welcomed him very much. "Maluo, come and die." With an angry roar, he fiercely activated the thunder dragon inner pill, and with a bang, the mighty thunder, like a raging wave, with unparalleled domineering power that ripped apart the heaven and the earth, ran straight towards Lord Milo. Hai Shui glanced at the exploding inner elixir with envy. The top-grade Hongmeng Lingbao was not a piece of cabbage. With his cultivation, there was no Lingbao of this level. Fortunately, his cultivation level is a little higher than Tuoshan's. With his Swanyan iron ruler, as long as he doesn't fight stupidly, Tuoshan can't kill him even if he has an empty Qingling flag. It was a real miscalculation this time. Looking at the thunder and lightning tide, Lord Milo looked solemn. A top-grade Hongmeng Lingbao, Huanglong's hidden treasure is really deep. Tuoshan's face was filled with envy. Although the Xiaoyang divine sword is also as powerful as the top-grade Hongmeng Lingbao, it is in the wild world. Leaving this world, it is nothing more than a mid-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasure. What's more important is that even if it is like this treasure does not belong to him, but to Emperor Kang Yang. This time it is just given to him for use, and he will have to return it after using it. Fortunately, the Emperor just asked us to do our best and did not say that Huanglong must be killed, otherwise it would be difficult for us this time. Milo suddenly waved the green spirit flag in the air in his palm, and the mighty sunflower water spiritual energy instantly turned into boundless tide. Vast and boundless. The surging water waves are not even half weaker than the thunder. Boom. When the two hands were pressed together, thunder and lightning tore through the water flow, and in an instant a heavy fog filled the air for hundreds of millions of miles. The shocking movement quickly suppressed the fighting between Tuoshan and Hai Shui next to them. Compared with the head-to-head confrontation between Milo and Huanglong, the battle between Tuoshan and Hai Shui is more like a battle of speed. The Xiaoyang divine sword is certainly powerful, but when placed in Tuoshan's hand, it is like a child dancing with a sledgehammer. The more powerful it is, the stronger it is, but it is very difficult to hit it. And Hai Shui's cultivation has reached the peak of the mid-stage great master, and his magic power is 100 times better than Tuoshan. Coupled with the spiritual treasures and escape techniques that have been cultivated for many years, it is like an extremely fast and slippery fish flying in the mighty sword energy, and it can find its weak points every time, avoiding strong attacks and weak points with ease. For a while, the situation became deadlocked. But they all know that if they continue to fight, Milo can definitely defeat Huanglong. After all, the Kong Qingling banner can mobilize the power of heaven and earth. And Hai Shui can beat Tuoshan. Although Xiaoyang divine sword is strong, whether it is mana, experience, or Taoism, the former is beyond a level. The Great Lord is the strongest being in the great world. Once a fight breaks out, the noise will be so great that it will inevitably alarm the entire great world. Soon, almost all the ambitious people who coveted the power of the wild world gathered here. Who is that man in black robe? Looking at his original form, he is also a real dragon, but his cultivation is much stronger than that of the yellow dragon. Chen Xianzang asked curiously. The eighth patriarch of Chongshan, he is the third person to break through the existence of the great master after Su Junming and Taoist Tiangong. Now, the real body has arrived in the wilderness. There are many dragon clans in the southern wilderness, and the reputation of the 9 dragon lords of the Supreme Dragon Court has been heard even in the 9 wildernesses. I think he should come from outside the wilderness, Su Junming said. Chen Xianzang nodded and asked, why did the 4 of them start fighting? This is unknown, but their fight will completely change the current peaceful situation in the wilderness. The true Lord of Datong is here. Taoist Tiangong suddenly spoke, and Su Junming and Chen Xianzang subconsciously looked in the direction he was looking. Sure enough, a figure that concealed his aura and appearance and looked the same as an ordinary monk quietly inserted himself into the surrounding crowd watching the battle. He is very cautious, Su Junming said with a smile. I'm afraid this old guy is already talking happily, hoping that both sides will lose, so that he can reap the benefits, Chen Xianzang said. Having said that, things are not that simple. You see. Looking in the direction of Su Junming's finger, a handsome young man wearing a grey robe and a face like a crown of jade sat in a hidden mustard space just like them. This man had a bronze mirror with a mighty brilliance on his head, and a thick wooden staff lying flat on his knees. His sharp eyes were staring at true Lord Datong in the crowd, his face filled with resentment. Emperor Kanyang, Tiangong Taoist asked. Not bad. We haven't seen him for many years, but he still looks the same. With a smile on his face, Su Junming recalled the scene when the two met at Kanyang Immortal Mansion. It's not that enemies don't get together, there will be a good show next. Chen Xianzang patrolled back and forth between Kanyang and Datong Zhenjun with great interest, hoping that the two cultivators would start fighting soon. The great master's magic power was tyrannical, and his recovery ability was 10,000 times greater than that of the Supreme Master. They started to fight. It can easily last 100 years or 1,000 years. Now is no exception. Milato Tian and Huanglong and the Blackwater Four cultivators have been fighting for 3,000 years. The land of Huanglong province has been overturned and the waves have been hundreds of millions of feet high. As a result, trillions of living beings have died. At the beginning, Huanglong still wanted to protect his tribe. But his two fists were no match for his four hands. Milo and Tuoshan didn't care at all. Many people died. Huanglong became more and more angry and simply let go. He tried his best to mobilize the spiritual treasure, intending to kill Lord Milo. Another 3,000 years have passed. The four cultivation fighting has passed the middle stage. Except for the Blackwater Master, Milo Tuoshan, and Huanglong, their magic power is no longer what it was before. The power was visibly weakened. Why hasn't the Emperor taken action yet? Tuoshan, who was gradually falling behind, became anxious. Even so, as Kanyang's life and death depended on him, he did not dare to ask any more questions. He could only approach the Blackwater Master who was using all his strength to resist the increasingly powerful attack. In the mustard space, Emperor Kanyang stared at true Lord Datong. Let me see how long you can endure it. The war of 6,000 years certainly attracted more than just the people in front of me. A huge world deep in Hongmeng is rapidly approaching the vast world. This is a world bigger than the wilderness. However, compared to the vast wilderness with mountains and rivers, crisscrossed plains and valleys, and vigorous vitality, although the space here is wider, the land is extremely barren, deserts are widespread, large and small volcanoes are spewing thick smoke and flames, and the entire sky is covered with smoke and fire. It turned into a red color, like blood. In this barren world, there is killing and death everywhere. For a little resource, hundreds of millions of living beings wave their butcher knives without hesitation. Father and son kill each other, mother eats her son, and there is no trace of the human world. The concept of survival of the fittest and the law of the jungle pervades the entire world. This is the world of demon spirits. The origin of a city is stronger than that of the wilderness, and it can be called a top-notch existence among all the great worlds. Except for worlds like the Tianlong world that are on the verge of transcending tribulation, there are few other worlds in the Nine Wastes that can compare with them. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1285. Chapter 1260. The war begins and the world of demon spirits approaches. In the center of the demon world, in the magnificent and solemn demon palace, four huge and powerful figures sat cross-legged. A huge water mirror appeared between them, and the scene in the water mirror was exactly what it was like in the wilderness. Great War. Hiss, the opportunity we have been waiting for has finally come. This time we will sweep across the wilderness and annex her completely. Three huge snake heads were swinging, their vertical pupils were full of ferocity, and their cold voice was filled with unreasonable fanaticism. He, what Snake Logo said is true. The internal strife in the wilderness is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us in the world of demon spirits. We must not miss it. The crisp voice exudes a strange magic power, which makes people blush and beat, and they can't extricate themselves. Succubus, put away your enchanting voice, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Muscles are knotted, and the powerful figure with the head of a lion and the body of a dragon is full of dominance. Rolling demon flames gathered around him, with a powerful momentum like an ancient giant mountain. Mohulugia, you heartless person, I am completely devoted to you in vain, you actually despise me. The beautiful and fragrant face was posing, but the body under the head seemed to be swarming with snakes, densely packed, with red fleshy whiskers of different lengths splaying their teeth and claws, making the scalp numb. She is the succubus, one of the 5 great demons in the world of demons. Get out of here, stop disgusting me. All right. A hoarse and not loud voice swept over. After hearing the words, the demons glared at each other and calmed down obediently. His eyes were invariably glanced at the inner demon in the middle, who was wearing a grey linen robe and had hands and feet that looked like a human race old man in his 50s or 60s. This internal fight in the wild world is indeed an excellent opportunity for us. Even if I deduce it in a magical way, the result is the same. However, Datong and Milo are not fools. They know that we are watching. Don't you think it's strange that you are still fighting like this? It's really strange. I have been in the Xianming world for many years, but I have never heard of any irresolvable conflicts between the 4 great masters. Now that they are suddenly fighting each other and fighting to the death, I always feel that it is not normal. Demon Rondo Ningmei said. Hiss, is it because of our speculation that the opportunity to annex Mang Huang was not used? Snake Logo said. Of course not. I think we should be more decisive and bold while being cautious, Rondo said magically. Tell me. The Witch Heart demon became interested. If Milo, Totten, and others are injured or killed in this fight, then we don't have to hesitate and directly bring the demon spirit realm closer to us. If we don't succeed, we will be benevolent. Hee, what if there are no casualties? Then continue to wait and see. Even if you miss this opportunity, you must not step into the trap set by Datong and Milo. And you have also seen that the Supreme Dragon Court has intervened. It is difficult to say whether there are many forces hidden within it, so if you can't be sure of victory, you won't be able to sneak into it easily. Demon Rondo's tone was decisive, causing all the demons to think subconsciously. At the end, everyone unanimously focused their attention on the heart-witching demon in the middle. He is proficient in the path of life and has always been the backbone of the 5 demons. What Rondo demon said is true. He is cautious but also decisive. It's very good. Let's act accordingly. With his endorsement, Succubus, Snake Logo and Mohulugia didn't say anything more. At this moment, the battle in the wild world has become fierce. Violent thunder and rolling waves filled a radius of hundreds of millions of miles. The entire Tianlong divine state was turned upside down. Huanglong has revealed his true form as a 9-clawed yellow dragon, and his huge dragon roar is earth-shattering. Boom, thunder across the sky and earth surged forward. The surging waves rolled up billions of pounds. Boom. The endless waves were vaporized by the thunder, further aggravating the heavy fog that had filled most of the Tianlong divine state. Milo tightly grasped the trembling empty green spirit flag, activated his magic power and flicked it. With a boom, the remaining thunder flew thousands of feet and exploded violently. He took a long breath and looked at the yellow dragon with navy blue thunder beads above his head in the distance and the majestic aura, with a sneer on his face. Huanglong wanted to rely on the power of the spiritual treasure to defeat him, which was really wishful thinking. If he wasn't afraid of those people hiding in secret, and if this battle was not his wish but forced by Ken Yang, he wouldn't have to show weakness to the enemy at all. However, if it continues like this, it will be really bad for me. Thinking of this, he hated God Tuoshan even more. If he had not collaborated with Kanyang to attack him, he would not be in the current situation where he could not control his life and death. How can we break the deadlock in front of us? He never wanted to just sit back and wait to die and become a pawn sacrificed by Emperor Kanyang. Milo thought hard while dealing with Huanglong's attack. Sudden. Tuoshan's message rang in his heart. Milo, we can't go on like this, otherwise even if we don't die in the hands of Huanglong and this black dragon, we will exhaust our mana and be killed by the Datong True Lord lurking in the dark, or the demons of the demon world. As soon as these words came out, Milo's heart was instantly touched. His eyes lit up and he became excited instantly. Yeah, why did I forget him? Thinking of a way to break the situation, although it may not work, this is the best way he can think of. Brother Datong, are you here? The mighty sound instantly spread hundreds of millions of miles around, and every monk watching the battle heard it clearly. Of course Datong Genjun, who was hiding among the spectators, also heard it. Brother Datong, please come and help me quickly. This thief, Huanglong, intends to collude with the Supreme Dragon Court and invade our wild world. You must not let it go. When Huanglong heard this, he was instantly furious. Damn bastards, you actually beat me up. Brother Datong, please don't fall for the trap of these two traitors. They had invited me to deal with Brother Datong together, but after I rejected them, they became angry and took action. Brother Datong, I miss you and we are the four great masters of the Manghuang world. We have been peacefully together for many years, how could Milo and I join forces to deal with you? On the contrary, Huanglong, as the great master of Manghuang, has hooked up with the Supreme Master Dragon Court. Now it has introduced Blackwater, one of the 9 great deities of the true dragon realm, into our wilderness. If this is not an evil intention, then I really don't know what is. As a great master, Tuoshan is not a fool. The moment Milo opened his mouth, he guessed his plan and quickly helped, pouring dirty water on Huanglong. You, Huanglong yelled angrily, old thief, Brother Hai Shui is just here as a guest. He will stay for a while and then leave. He has never interfered with my overall situation. If he didn't interfere, what is he doing now? Milo asked. Thinking of Hai Shui, who was joining forces to fight against the enemy, Huanglong paused for a moment, and then his thoughts changed. Fellow Taoist Hai Shui is my best friend. If you two thieves come to pick a fight, of course you have to help me. Hey, I'll help you deal with me, the man in the wilderness. Tuoshan means a lot. In the mustard seed space, Su Junming, Chen Xianzang, and Tiangong Jin all shook their heads. This kind of issue is getting darker and darker. If you don't change the topic earlier and continue to talk about it, I really don't know what Huanglong is thinking. Chen Xianzang sighed. The shamelessness of Milo and Tuoshan is enough. Anyone who gets beaten up will be angry. And if the battle lasts for a long time, resentment and fear will double the anger, Su Junming said. It doesn't matter if he is angry, the true lord of Datong will end, Tiangong said. This man in Datong is very deep in the city. He will not trust anyone. It is too early to draw conclusions now. Su Junming narrowed his eyes. In the past many years, due to the relationship between refining treasures, he had been in contact with True Lord Datong many times and knew a little about him. Compared to True Lord Datong, I'm more curious about how long this old guy Kanyang will be hiding before he ends. Perhaps if we wait for true monarch Datong, the grudge between them will never end, Chen Xianzang said. No. After shaking his head, this old guy is not that narrow-minded. I doubt he will wait until the demon spirit realm comes closer. He will value his own path more, Taoist Tiangong affirmed. Su Junming nodded slowly. The fusion of the demon spirit realm and the wilderness is the top realm. If you control the heavenly realm in this realm, you can be completely invincible in the southern wilderness. If the future world advances, that would be great. Owning a Hongmeng upper realm will give you a respected status even if you enter 3 mountains and 4 seas in the future. The possibility of breaking through to the supreme level has increased hundreds of times out of thin air. Such benefits are a fatal temptation that cannot be given up for any monk who has the ambition to achieve supreme status. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1286. Chapter 1261. The war begins, Huanglong defeats chaos. Staring at the two sides bickering with each other in the distance, True Lord Datong frowned unconsciously. He doesn't care who is right or wrong on either side, and he has no intention of taking the initiative to stand up. After all, only by hiding in the dark can you deal with it calmly. Once exposed, unless you fight to the death, you will completely lose the chance to fight for the wilderness. After shouting for several months, True Lord Datong still did not appear. Milo and Tuoshin looked a little gloomy. They never expected that the other party, as the most respected person in the wilderness, would not care about his reputation at all, and could survive until now without showing up. Seeing their expressions, Huanglong laughed. Doesn't it feel good to put on a show and show it to a blind man? Haha, you are so stupid, you idiot. Milo and Tuoshin's expressions became increasingly gloomy. If Datong doesn't come forward and Kenyang doesn't let them stop, it means that they must continue to fight. No matter they win or lose in the end, it will be a great danger to them. Huanglong. A low, rich, and familiar voice sounded in the bottom of my heart. Friend Hai Shui, thank you very much. You're welcome. However, I can feel that there are other great masters lurking around. If we continue to fight with Milo Tuoshin now and exhaust our mana, we will definitely be in danger. Although Huanglong acted very angry before, he was not a fool after all. Being able to cultivate to the level of a great master also means that his state of mind is transcendent. So he was very aware of his situation, which was indeed very dangerous. What do you think, Brother Hai Shui? Stop the fight immediately, follow me and leave the wilderness, get rid of everything here, and join the Supreme Dragon Court. Impossible, my foundation is in the wilderness, how can I abandon it? Grand Master Huanglong blurted out. Foundation? Hee, your foundation has been deliberately destroyed by those two guys a long time ago. Now the Dragon Clan of Tianlong Divine State has suffered heavy casualties. What kind of foundation is there? Or, do you think you still have hope to win the wilderness of heaven? Hai Shui's words opened Huanglong's scars and made him face the bloody facts. Looking at the turbulent waves below, raging thunder and lightning, and the arrogant sword energy, Huanglong knew that except for the Supreme Master and a few Hunyuan-level water tribes, it would be difficult for the other water tribes to contend with the aftermath of the Great Master's battle. Huanglong, after all, I am not a member of your wilderness. I can help you because we are all of the same race, but don't expect me to risk my life for you. Hearing this, although he felt uncomfortable in his heart, he also understood that Lord Blackwater had already done his utmost to be benevolent and righteous. You can't expect someone who has no previous relationship with you to work hard for your interests. As for the benefits he had promised previously, for the Supreme Dragon Court who has been promoted to the top, the ownership of the wilderness world is irrelevant. After all, even if you get it, unless you can break through the Hongmeng upper realm, you won't be able to eat it if you see it. In comparison, he, the great lord of the Dragon Clan, is more important. After all, without the involvement of the world, he can join the Dragon Court wholeheartedly and become a part of it. Thank you, Taoist brother Hai Shui. If something cannot be done, everything will be arranged by Taoist brother. It's good that you understand. You can keep the Green Mountains without worrying about having no firewood, and keep your useful body. In the future, when you get closer to your cultivation level, you can take it back. Moreover, our true dragon state has advanced to the Hongmeng upper realm, you wherever we practice, the future will be far better than this wilderness, and that is the true paradise of our dragon clan. What Taoist brother Hai Shui said is true. I am obsessed with it. Huang Long did not dare to offend Lord Blackwater. After all, Supreme Dragon Court was his escape route. Moreover, without Hai Shui to resist Tuotian, 2 against 1, no matter how he looked at it, he had no chance of winning. Get ready. Take away the surviving dragon tribesmen in Tianlong Shenzhou. Let's leave the place of right and wrong first. Although Huang Long didn't want to leave in such a dejected manner, the situation was stronger than others. Everything is as Brother Hai Shui said. Actuating the Thunder Dragon inner elixir, the mighty thunder covered all directions, blocking Milo's empty green spirit flag. At the same time, several clones were separated and flew into the sea like lightning. As the focus of the battlefield, Huang Long's every move was watched. Maybe the Supreme Master and the Hunyuan people couldn't detect his actions, but the Supreme Master could see it clearly. Clone? The fight is so fierce, what does Huang Long do with his clone? True Lord Datong raised his brows and suddenly realized, is he going to run away? Sure enough, the Yellow Dragon Master flew into the sea, waved his sleeves, and took away the remaining dragon clan. Obviously, this is preparation for running away. However, when he escaped into the Crystal Palace, he found that the huge dragon palace was quiet, and the hundreds of millions of dragon elites hiding in it were all gone. How so? Huang Long was shocked. At the same time, in the mustard space that he cannot detect. I have to say that the dragon clan's collection is really rich. Not counting all kinds of spiritual fruits and elixirs, there are more than 20 pieces of middle-grade Hongmeng level spiritual materials. There are 3 pieces of high-grade Hongmeng level. It is indeed a luxury. Chen Xianzang smiled. Road. Looking at the incredible yellow dragon in the water mirror, Su Junming smiled faintly. Compared to hiding treasures, these dragon clan elites are not bad at all. They are all good tool men when they are brought back to Chongshan. It's a rare trip to Tianlong, China, and there is always something to gain. Moreover, after saving these dragon creatures, he felt at ease when taking the treasures hidden in the dragon palace. Damn thief, don't let me catch you. Huang Long was heartbroken, as all the accumulation he had accumulated over the years was gone. However, this strengthened his determination to leave the maelstrom of Mang Huang. Directly withdraw the mana and soul from the avatar, and use the divine consciousness to transmit sounds. Brother Hai Shui, let's go. Damn it, when I reach a higher level in the future, I will come to settle accounts with these bastards. It should have been so long ago. Ouch. The magnificent and loud dragon roar resounded throughout the world, suppressing the rolling thunder for a while. With a swish, the billowing dragon energy, accompanied by the huge dragon shadow, flew straight towards the sky. Everyone watching the battle immediately understood that they were trying to escape. Milo and Totten hesitated for a moment, wondering whether they should catch up. Although Emperor Kang Yang originally asked them to kill Huang Long, he did not say that they must kill him. And they don't intend to really die for Emperor Kang Yang. After hesitating for a moment, they exchanged glances with each other and then chased after them. After all, superficial work still needs to be done. Huang Long looked at Milo and Tuotian who were chasing after them. He was angry because the dragon palace was looted, and he yelled unwillingly and with anger on his face. Fellow Taoist Datong, I know you are here. Now I, Huang Long, swear to withdraw from the wilderness and never touch the heavenly path of the wilderness. Please kill these 2 treacherous villains without mercy. Tuotian and Milo's hearts skipped a beat. They raised their vigilance and yelled angrily, you are an old snake who eats the inside and outside, and you still want to slander us. Fellow Taoist Datong, please don't be fooled by this old snake. The 4 cultivators chased 2 and fled, and soon left the wild world. After passing through the chaos in the wild world where billions of worlds gathered together, We came to a void that was truly empty and filled with violent chaotic energy. Totten and Milo subconsciously slowed down. Everyone knows that the wind follows the tiger and the cloud follows the dragon, so the dragons who manipulate Feng Yun have extremely fast escape speeds. And now they have chased Hongmeng. Although they are still far away from the true dragon realm where the supreme dragon court is, how can they keep chasing? Who knows if there are any dragon masters ahead who will rush over after getting the news. More importantly, after thousands of years of fighting, most of their mana was consumed. If you don't have enough confidence, you will naturally become conservative. They slowed down, and Huanglong and Hai Shui naturally got further and further away, and soon disappeared into the depths of Hongmeng. Milo and Totten looked at each other, just as they were about to turn around and walk back. Shua. A green light with a diameter of tens of thousands of feet, like a giant pillar reaching the sky, struck towards the two of them like lightning. It happened suddenly, and the light was extremely fast. Milo and Tuoshin only had time to block the Lingbao in front of them. But they forgot that this place is already deep in the chaos of Hongmeng, not the vast wilderness. Kongqing spiritual flag and Xiaoyang divine sword are no longer top-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasures, but mid-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasures. The difference between one word and one word makes a world of difference in power. Boom. Billions of chaotic energy exploded, stirring up endless fire and feng shui. The huge movement shocked hundreds of millions of miles of Hongmeng. The two huge figures flew hundreds of millions of feet upside down, vomiting blood, and their bodies collapsed, as if they had been seriously injured. Tianxin Divine Realm. Datong, it's you. Milo roared. In the formless and colorless chaos, a bronze mirror measuring millions of feet suddenly appeared, shrouded in infinite divine brilliance and with a vast and powerful aura. On top of the divine mirror is the true Lord of Datong, who is wearing a white robe, has a slightly fat figure, and has an immortal demeanor. The Tianxin Divine Realm is the #1 artifact in the vast world. Different from the Kongqing spiritual flag and the Xiaoyang divine sword, its true form is the top-grade Hongmeng spiritual treasure with 7 restrictions. Therefore, even without the blessing of Manghuang's power of heaven, the power is far greater than that. Therefore, Morocco and Totten would be seriously injured by one blow. After sweeping his calm eyes over Milo and Tuoshin, Datong Zhenjun said loudly, "Teacher, if you don't come out, I will kill these 2 dogs for you." The majestic sound waves spread across hundreds of millions of miles of Hongmeng, and his voice even sounded in the distant wilderness. "Teacher?" True Lord Datong still has a teacher. It is rumored that the master of true monarch Datong, Emperor Kenyang, died in the war between gods and demons in ancient times. Yes. Is there any strange emotion involved? The superiors who were watching the battle from a distance were talking a lot. But apart from the always violent chaotic energy, nothing unusual could be seen. That's right. With the teacher's temper, useless subordinates like this always fend for themselves. Pointing his hands together like swords, he pointed straight towards Milo and Tuoshin. The Tianxin divine realm was shaken, and the dim blue divine light, like an extremely sharp sword reaching the sky, slashed towards Milo and Tuoshin like lightning. Both of them looked at each other with fear on their faces. Before he was injured, he might have been able to withstand 1 or 2 attacks. Now, even if I run away, I can't escape. Just when the two of them were desperate, the space beside him suddenly fluctuated, and 2 black space channels emerged. Before the second cultivator could recover, he was swallowed up and disappeared. Magnificent green divine light shot out, and the space was shattered, but Milo and Tuoshin were no longer seen. "Teacher, since you have taken action, why don't you show up yet?" Could it be that after so many years, Emperor Kenyang has turned into a cowardless person? Hongmeng billows, calm and silent. Suddenly, a dazzling red brilliance gave color to the chaos. This red brilliance became stronger and stronger, and gradually, a 28th grade red lotus with an extremely powerful aura emerged. The majestic rhyme of cause and effect is filled with billions of miles of chaos. On this huge red lotus platform, there sat a handsome middle-aged Taoist wearing a dark red Taoist robe, a green gourd hanging around his waist, holding a green bamboo staff, with a face like a crown of jade, but with a bald head. The unfamiliar face, the different aura, and the great master's initial magic power made Datong Genjun's heart sink slightly. What he worried about most happened. As expected, there are still outsiders in the wild world who are worried about them. Who is your excellency? Pandeo is Chen Xianzang, the sixth ancestor of Chongshan Academy, the Taishi Xianyuan true monarch. It turns out that fellow Taoist is Chongshan Academy, Chongshan Academy. True monarch Datong's eyes widened in an instant, looking at Chen Xianzang in disbelief. But after all, he is a man among great masters, and his mind is extraordinary. He quickly calmed down. After taking a deep breath. I wonder if you know Su Junming, the true lord of Taisha Chongshan, or Daisu. Of course, that's my senior brother. True Lord Datong felt a thump in his heart and said to himself, sure enough. Young Daoist Chen don't know. Senior brother Ling and I are close friends, and he is still a guest in my Datong Tower. If you don't believe it, you can come with me to find out the authenticity. No need, I know about this. Chen Xianzang waved his hand. In that case, why do fellow Taoists still want to save those two bastards Maluo and Tuoshan? At the Datong Fang treasure gathering sect auction, if I hadn't stopped them, senior brother Ling would have almost killed them. Chen Xianzang smiled lightly. Fellow Datong has misunderstood. I am not saving them, but these two people have other uses for me. He looked at him deeply. Chongshan Academy is also interested in the heavenly way of the wild world. If you want to completely turn the wild world into your own private world, you must gather the three world-suppressing spiritual treasures of Tianxin Chenjing, Shaoyang Divine Sword and Conking Linki. With them, one can master the way of heaven step by step. I'm not the only one who is interested. After a pause, Chen Xianzang flicked his fingers, and a crimson divine light flew across hundreds of millions of feet and flew straight towards Hongmeng on the left. Fellow Daoist Ken Yang, after watching for so long, it's time to show up. Ken Yang. True Lord Datong suddenly turned his head and looked. Boom. The red divine light was blocked by an invisible barrier. Along with the earth, water, wind, and fire, a handsome young man wearing a green robe and a crown appeared, with a blue pearl as big as a bowl suspended above his head. Ken Yang. Datong. Due to the implication of cause and effect, as soon as Emperor Ken Yang sacrificed his life, the master and disciples met. Chen Xianzang saw this with a smile on his face. The reason why he appeared was not only to save the two great masters Maluo and Tuoshan, but the most important thing was to find out the Emperor Ken Yang who was peeping in the dark. Then let him and the true monarch of Datong stage a grudge drama of a loving father and a filial son, a master and a disciple who are compatible. Judging from the looks on the two people's faces, his goal was achieved. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1287. Chapter 1262. The war begins and the two worlds merge. Evil disciple, why don't you come over and bow your head when you see your master? Emperor Ken Yang said loudly. What qualifications does an evil thief who doesn't hesitate to suppress his disciples' paths and steal their treasures have to call himself a teacher? True Lord Datong looked calm. After all this time, your ability to speak eloquently has not changed. Excellent. Compared with your city, it's still far behind. After a pause, I expected it to be good. Then Ken Yang and Tuoshan are the chess pieces you threw out, right? That's right. But I didn't expect you to be so patient. You didn't come out to attack until the end and completely kicked Milo and Totten out of the game. Compared to the teacher, I am far behind. If it weren't for this fellow Taoist Chen from Chongshan, the teacher would still be hiding in the dark, waiting for opportunities. Emperor Kang Yang's eyes turned cold, and he turned to look at Chen Xianzang, who was wearing a red Taoist robe in the distance. If it weren't for this person, he could have chosen the best opportunity to make a sneak attack. Chen Xianzang, who was enjoying watching the scene where the master and his disciples exchanged blows, noticed that the two people's eyes turned to him, and couldn't help but waved his hands. You two, I have no enmity with you, so don't worry about me. The corners of their mouths twitched. Don't care about you. Let's fight and let you take advantage. Do we look that stupid? Oh, by the way, look at my brain. Chen Xianzang patted his head in frustration. I am an outsider here, so you will definitely be embarrassed to do anything. In that case, I will take my leave first. You master and disciple haven't seen each other for a long time, so let's have a good chat. After saying that, he raised his escaping light and flew toward the Kanyang Great Realm like lightning. He left as soon as he said so, which was obviously beyond the expectations of both master and disciple. Emperor Kanyang subconsciously shook his hands, obviously wanting to take action, but when he saw True Lord Datong not far away, he hesitated. 2 against 1 is not a good choice. He hesitated, and True Lord Datong also hesitated. It is rare that the old thief Kanyang has exposed himself this time. If he misses it, it will be difficult to find him next time. The thought of this powerful poisonous snake always staring at him secretly made Datong Zhenjun feel numb. But Chen Xianzang suddenly appeared, and Su Junming was imprisoned, feeling very uneasy. Moreover, he calls himself the 6th Patriarch of Chongshan, which means that there are 4 other people between him and Su Junming. Of course, it is also possible that this person was telling nonsense just to make him feel taboo, but he did not dare to gamble. Just when the two of them were hesitating, a palpitation rose from the bottom of their hearts. Turning his head suddenly, he subconsciously looked towards Kanyang Great Realm. Boom! The earth-shattering sound of impact came through the infinite chaos. Billions of rays of light scatter for billions of miles, illuminating the infinite void. Visible to the naked eye, a world that is larger than the Kanyang realm, looks dark red from the outside, and has rampant demonic energy. It is like an ancient giant mountain that has directly hit the Kanyang realm. The huge world collided with an earth-shattering momentum. Therefore, the number of dead and injured creatures from both worlds is even more numerous. It's the world of demon spirits. The two of them understood instantly. Apart from this accident, neither Kanyang nor Datong had any intention of fighting. Without Kanyang Great Realm, even if we win against the opponent, what's the point? The two of them activated the escape light and flew toward the Kanyang Realm like lightning. After closing the distance, they could clearly see that the demonic realm and the wilderness realm were completely stuck together. At the junction of the two sides, red lightning crisscrossed, and the two worlds of heaven were fighting fiercely. A 28th grade red lotus, hundreds of millions of feet in size, blooms with the aura that can only be found in high-grade Hongmeng Lingbao. Its tyrannical power blocks the junction of the two realms. Sitting on this familiar lotus flower is Chen Xianzang, who previously claimed to be the true Lord Taishi Xianyuan. Opposite him, in the world of demon spirits, 5 majestic figures stood in mid-air. The one in the middle is completely shrouded in a black mist, which is deep and incomprehensible, making people dare not look directly. The one on the left has the head of a lion and the body of a dragon. He is strong and overflowing with domineering energy, with billowing energy and blood mixed with tyrannical evil aura, like a demon god coming out of purgatory. On the right side were 3 giant snake heads, with a slender body and a 3-pronged steel fork in his hand. The cold breath was gnawing at the bones. On the far left is a woman shrouded in a pink mist, with only a beautiful and fragrant head exposed. Looking at it from a distance, countless thoughts in my heart are burning like wildfire, and I want to kneel down in front of her. Under the pomegranate skirt, he died for him. On the far right is a lizard-headed human body, surrounded by countless flame clouds, like the existence of a demon in fire. These 5 corrections are the 5 great demons in the world of demons. Witch Heart Demon, Mohuleka, Succubus, Snake Luo, and Londo Demon. Emperor Kanyang and True Lord Datong arrived here soon. Although they had their own plans, they did not want to offend Chen Xianzang. Therefore, we stand together with him, connecting with each other with strong momentum, and jointly resisting the prying eyes of the demon world. After so many multi-party meetings, I didn't expect that you guys, Moze, have all grown up. Emperor Kanyang said loudly. Originally, he wanted to wait for the war between the demonic spirit realm and the wilderness realm to begin, and then come out to seal the victory in one fell swoop when the two sides fought to the end. But now Chen Xianzang broke into the hiding place and his whereabouts were exposed. Reluctantly, he changed his plan and walked from the darkness to the stage. Old thief Kanyang, I didn't expect you to still be alive. A thick and hoarse voice sounded from the mouth of the witch heart demon. Of course I'm alive, but that Xiao Maha guy is no match for me. The shadow of a famous tree. As a being who survived from ancient times, except for the witch heart demon, the other 4 demons are juniors in front of him. After hiding the violence, they instantly became serious. Kanyang enjoyed the fear and attention in these people's eyes. Hiss, you are so brazen. If you were so powerful, how could you be killed by your own apprentice? Snake Luo mocked. Kanyang's expression suddenly turned gloomy after his scars were uncovered in public. His deep eyes stared at Chiluo, his crazy murderous intention was like an erupting volcano, surging and surging. I hope your strength will be as powerful as your mouth by then. Snake Luo's expression froze. His strength was only in the early stage of Great Master. Although he was only one step away from reaching the middle stage, this step had already blocked him for dozens of yuanhui, and he didn't know when he would be able to break through. In comparison, Emperor Kanyang was a super strong man at the peak of the Great Master, and his strength was far above it. If he is targeted, he will be in big trouble. For a moment, I complained in my heart that I was a bitch. But once you say it, you can't take it back. Kanyang, there is no need to speak loudly. When the 2 realms are completely integrated, it will not be too late for you and me to have a showdown, the witch heart demon said calmly. Hee, I wasn't afraid of you mo bastards last time, and I won't even be this time. However, I will definitely uproot you this time. After saying that, the 2 parties did not speak again, retreated from each other in tacit understanding, and then left. Before the 2 worlds merge, any party going to the other's world is seeking death. Under the suppression of the powerful power of heaven and earth, not even half of the 100% power can be exerted. Therefore, if you want to have a showdown, you must wait until the 2 worlds are completely integrated. Only when there is no favoritism between the 2 parties. However, the fusion of the great world will not be able to determine the winner in a short time. The dispute between the 2 realms of heaven is destined to be a matter that lasts for hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. In order to win, the creatures from both worlds will fight crazily to help the heavens overcome each other. This is destined to be a crazy and dark day. No one can be alone. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 1289. After each said some cruel words, the 5 demon lords, Datong, Kanyang and Chen Xianzang left. Unexpectedly, Kanyang did not mention that Maluo and Tuoshan were captured by Chen Xianzang, and seemed to have forgotten the existence of the 2 cultivators. However, as Huanglong moved away from Kanyang, Milo and Tuoshan disappeared, the situation in the entire wilderness changed drastically. The true monarch of Datong still occupies the Datong divine state, while Emperor Kanyang directly occupies the former Maluo divine state, while Tuotian divine state is occupied by Chongshan Academy. As for Tianlong Shenzhou, there is a huge ocean there. Except for the water tribe, most races cannot survive. A few islands were also destroyed in the battles between Maluo, Toshan, Huanglong, Hai Shui and other cultivators, and most of them are now dead. However, because the intersection of the Kanyang realm and the demon spirit realm is located in the Tianlong divine state, this place has also become the battlefield between the two realms. Countless creatures from the two worlds are fighting here under the organization of Datong, Kanyang, and Chongshan. Every time you kill an enemy in the other realm, the heavens of both realms will give you a reward. The opportunity to comprehend or understand the Great Path, and the rapid improvement of cultivation stimulates every monk who wants to reach a higher level. Chongshan dwells in the inner cave. Su Junming was sitting cross-legged by the lake, with Tiangong Taoist, Chen Xianzang, and Dragon Emperor sitting cross-legged on both sides. Following Chen Xianzang, the Dragon Emperor also overcame the tribulation and became a great master. With a wave of his sleeves, two streams of light flew out of Tiangong Taoist's sleeves, and two familiar figures appeared after landing. It was Milo and Totin who were in a sorry state, with pale faces, and looked like they were seriously injured. Seeing Su Junming and Long Di sitting in front of them, they were shocked, and their faces instantly showed a look of alert. But soon they realized that they were unable to mobilize any mana, and even their souls became sluggish. In this state, let alone 4 great masters, even one great master would be easily crushed to death. "You, who are you?" Milo asked slightly nervously. Under the repeated blows, he lost his cultivation base and was shrouded in the majesty of the 4 great masters. Even he became nervous. "Have you too heard of Chongshan Academy?" Su Junming said with a smile. Tuotian pondered for a moment, but Chongshan Academy in Datong, China. Exactly. Looking at the gradually changing expressions on the two people's faces, he said, "My Taoist name is True Lord Chongshan and my name is Su Junming. These are my junior brothers." The shocked look lasted for a long time before he took a few deep breaths and calmed down a little. "Thank you, fellow Taoist Li, for saving Tuotian and I from the hands of the Lord Datong." Milo thanked us. Tuotian was not stupid and bowed and saluted. "No need to say thank you. We saved the two of you without asking for anything in return." Milo and Tuotian's hearts suddenly lifted. With their life experience of making hundreds of thousands of yuan, they certainly understand that there is no free lunch in the world, but when the real thing comes, they can't help but worry. "Please speak frankly, fellow Daoist Su, as long as we can do it, we will never refuse." Su Junming noticed the nervousness of the second cultivator and smiled lightly. "I think you two also understand that we, Chongshan, need to seize the heavenly realm of the vast wilderness, so I ask you two to help me, Chongshan. After this is accomplished, I will remove the poison left by Emperor Kanyang in your bodies." Den. Although he did not accept Kanyang's poisonous elixir when he was in Kanjiang's immortal mansion, he had researched the antidote to the poisonous elixir over the years. The second cultivator was shocked. The poisonous elixir left by Kanyang was like a sharp knife hanging on their necks at all times, making it difficult for them to sleep or eat well. "Are you really sure? You should feel it. The poison in your body has cut off the connection with Emperor Kanyang." Milo Tuotian, whose attention was attracted by Su Junming and the others, suddenly remembered after being reminded. The toxins in his body are indeed controlled by Kanyang. Once there is any change, the soul will be instantly polluted, the mana will collapse, and hundreds of millions of years of hard work will turn it into a painting. But although the toxins now present in the sea of consciousness and Danshan exist, they no longer have the activity that they could explode at any time. Although they didn't know the reason, as the other party said, he was familiar with this toxin. "How can we trust you to tell the truth?" "That's right. What if we help you defeat True Lord Datong and successfully seize the power of the Kanyang realm, but you go back on your word and kill us? Tuoshan also asked closely. Su Junming smiled. Do you two have any more options? The second cultivator's expression changed. Life and death are in the hands of others, and they really don't have much choice. But as great masters, they are not willing to be used as slaves. Fellow Taoist Su, you need to know that we both have dignity. Milo spoke slowly, with extremely sharp eyes. Haha, I'm afraid you two fellow Taoists have misunderstood. I don't mean to look down on you, nor will I ask you to risk your lives to kill true monarch Datong or Emperor Kanyang. All I need is that you stand with us. Su Junming smiled. Stand together. That's right. Your opponents are neither Datong nor Kanyang, but the 5 demon lords of the demon spirit world who are trying to invade the wild world. Contain them, and we will solve the rest. After stopping here, Milo and Tuoshan breathed a sigh of relief. As long as they were restrained, they could still do it with the power of the Kongqing spirit flag and the Shaoyang divine sword, with the Kanyang realm at their back. The two cultivators exchanged glances. I hope fellow Taoist Su can keep his word, otherwise even if it means risking his life, we will make fellow Taoist pay the price. Su Junming smiled. So, our deal is done. Fellow Taoist must first detoxify us, Tuoshan emphasized. No problem. Su Junming's heart moved, and a navy blue gourd flew out from Baui Point. Milo Tuoshan instantly sensed the tyrannical sealing rhyme emanating from the gourd. Wow, 2 rays of spiritual light flew down. He forced himself to suppress the idea of avoiding in his heart and allowed this spiritual light to shine on him. Soon Milo Tuoshan felt that a layer of tyrannical restrictions was generated in his body, and the toxins spread all over the Danshan and the sea of consciousness. Under the suppression of the seal, they quickly shrank, and soon gathered into a small point and stayed in the Danshan. There are ups and downs in the sea of consciousness. The second cultivator clearly sensed the changes in his Danshan. Although the feeling of a sharp knife hanging on his neck was gone, the toxin was not eliminated but remained in the body. Soon, the aura disappeared. The gourd also disappeared from Su Junming's body again. Looking at the slightly ugly expressions of the two, he smiled slightly. To unlock this poison pill, you need hundreds of extremely precious elixirs and hundreds of Yuanhui sacrificial training skills. Before the pill can be made, you can only seal the 2 poisons first. You can rest assured, the seal is powerful enough that not even Emperor Kanyang can break it. Milo and Tuoshan's expressions changed. They were not stupid and naturally knew that there must be something fishy in this. Refining the elixir does require a lot of time and energy, especially the middle-grade Hongmeng elixir that unlocks the toxins in their bodies. But the meeting of several hundred yuan was too long. However, they didn't know much about alchemy, nor did they know the specific time required to refine the elixir, so they had no choice but to accept it. I hope fellow Taoists will keep their promises. After a long time, Milo said in a concentrated voice. Su will do his best, and you two fellow Taoists can rest assured. After finishing his words, he turned his head. Lao Lu, you take 2 fellow Taoists to Chongshan for resettlement. Chen Xianzang understood, stood up and said, 2 fellow Taoists, please come with me. Maluo and Tuoshan bowed before leaving with Chen Xianzang. Next, they will use the cross-border teleportation array in Chongshan Junia Cave to leave here, go to the chaos outside the Chongshan True World, get 2 middle-grade Hongmeng spiritual root seedlings, and become the only great master-level tool men in the Chongshan True World. My lord, do you really plan to let them participate in our battle for the wilderness? Asked the Dragon Emperor. Haha, how could it be? If you are not of the same mind as us, how can you try your best? What you said just now is just to stabilize them. When we take down Mang Huang and the demon spirit, they will give in even if they don't. Over the years, Su Junming no longer likes killing very much. Without it, it would be too wasteful of human resources. It is the best policy to keep these great ones to help you grow Chongshan. At the same time, Su Junming, who was far away in the Datong Divine Tower in Datong Fang, came to see the true Lord of Datong again after several Yuanhui.